Welcome back, everyone. Joining us now is Lauren Schulte, founder of Monarch Kitchen Design Studio and one of the industry's most respected voices in kitchen and bath design. Yay, we're so thrilled to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Okay, I'm laughing because I have this first question written.
Yes.
And I have seen your work. It is beautiful. It's moody. Tell me about this phrase that you have coined, which is swamp witch.
Yes. So swamp witch chic. I love adding...
I left out the chic part.
Yes.
Swamp witch chic.
Because you could go either way. It could be like a bog witch or a swamp witch. But you got to add the chic. So what I love to do is incorporate, and I did this before it sort of got trendy, I love to incorporate moss, sticks, all the earthy organic elements. The last show house that I did, everybody absolutely loved the kitchen because I had moss kind of just like dripping off of things. And my ideal client would be the witch that gives the apple to Snow White.
No way.
So, or Bram Stoker. I really like the deep, the dark, the moody.
So you're designing a kitchen for that mythical character in mind.
It's fun. It's whimsical.
Yep.
It's a little dark. It's a little heavy. I love to incorporate a lot of black. So the swamp witch kind of just came from because I couldn't find anything else quite like what I was doing.
So you made it yourself?
I did, but it's popular now a little bit. So,
okay.
But I coined swamp witch.
So I want to talk about the reason why you're here at KBIS. You were talking about finding your niche.
Yes.
And you're speaking on a panel on Thursday. It's called The Power of a Niche, Focused Expert or Flexible Generalist.
Yes.
And what is your perspective on this?
I really think, I personally love being in a niche because when you are surrounded amongst others, there's a lot of little dealers in Western New York. How do you make yourself different than everybody else? You know, not everybody wants mid-century, not everybody wants swamp witch. And to be in a little bit of a niche, your people will find you and those people will let you be a little bit more creative in your field.
Yep.
Not everybody's gonna let you go completely, but it's enough that your people will find you.
So you are exclusively a kitchen designer.
Kitchen and bath.
Kitchen and bath
Yes.
designer.
Yep.
When did you find your niche?
Well, I sat down 3 years ago with my branding coach and she looked at all of my work and she said, you do really gorgeous work, but I can't tell you from any other kitchen that you're doing. And she's like, and I understand you love the dark, you love the heavy, you like the black, but I'm not reading that in any of your portfolio. And it really got me thinking, and I was terrified to just niche myself into something that maybe most people aren't gonna love. Western New York is ice cold. So to do a lot of the dark, the heavy stuff, it's hard because we're dark and heavy for 6 months of the year.
But you have a BA in design and psychology.
I do.
So I'm sure that psychology degree comes in handy because there is some convincing that you have to do with a client to relay to them that you should be trusted.
Yes, I mean, it's a little bit of emotional management when you're working on a project, and that's really ultimately the thing is you have to tell them it's going to work out in all the ways that it's going to work out. When you do lots of dark and heavy, you want to make sure that you're impeccable in your lighting.
You're doing what with your lighting?
You need to be impeccable with the lighting.
Oh, yes.
Because the last, like I said, the show house kitchen that I did was black. I did black ceiling, black cabinets, black countertop, almost blackish wallpaper. It was in the middle of like the end of winter, so it was very dark, and we did it all with lighting.
And what was the reaction?
I was terrified that people were going to walk through the space and hate it because I had to be in my space, and I only heard 2 people not like it out of thousands. And really, I've gotten a ton of phone calls for people to do, somebody's hiring me right now to recreate that same exact kitchen in their house. Yeah.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
So, is there such thing as finding your niche too soon?
I think you'd have to be, so I own the business, so yes, it's a little bit tricky to put yourself in a category if you don't have a lot of quote unquote street credit.
Yeah.
You have to sort of build up to it, and it's hard because, you know, not everybody's gonna want maybe what you're trying to niche yourself into, so you want to sometimes do some things that maybe will help pay the bills.
Sure.
But, yeah.
Well, what are some of the trends that you're seeing right now when it comes to kitchen and bath design?
I see so much texture. I had the opportunity to do a little bit of the West Hall before I walked over here, and there's a ton of red. Again,
Really?
red gorgeous bathtubs. I am so excited
Wait,
for
a
that.
red bathtub?
Clear. It's gorgeous. It reminds me a little bit of Kat Von D's
Yes.
pool in California.
Yes.
And I love that. You know, the dark, the dramatic, you're seeing some pinks. You're seeing a little bit of the 80s, like a modern version of the 80s coming back. All the tiles here, they have a lot of texture. I love that.
People are embracing color again, would you say?
Yes. I want to say we're done with the white on white. There'll still be people out there that want it, but I really do think that you're starting to see.
Do you think people also, when it comes to bathroom design, are looking for sort of like almost like a spa approach, and they want like the full health picture, and they want gadgets and sort of like all the bells and whistles? What are people asking for when it comes to those kinds of things?
So we get a lot of steam showers because you know, if you have a cold or whatever, you get to kind of sit in the shower and just start to feel a little bit better. We get a lot of integration with music, so that you can listen to music in the
So you can be singing in the shower, and you don't have to take your iPhone into the shower and turn it on?
That is correct. I get a lot of that. I get a little of the hand touching, so that you don't have to adjust stuff.
Yeah.
But all in all, they're more focused sort of on the aesthetic than some of the functional stuff, because a steam shower can get a little bit expensive, and then the custom glass and all that.
Sure. And what about when it comes to kitchens? What are people looking for now?
Appliances are big. People really do love appliances. And storage. The first question that I ask all my clients is, how do you live best in your space? What are you missing from other areas of your house? Are we going into your basement to pull out certain things that you use more than maybe once or twice a year? How can we fit that into yours? And then we're knocking down walls, of course. I don't see that going away anytime soon. We're just have a bigger space.
And then in terms of appliances, what kinds of things are people looking for? Like the fancy stoves and refrigerators?
You're seeing induction cooking. You want people to be able to bake. There's a big battle in New York right now if we're allowed to do just electric and gas. So we're actually getting a lot of people that are trying to put gas in before it becomes like a law that everything has to go electric, because some people prefer to cook on it. So that's actually been a little wild ride for the last 7 or 8 months.
Well, I feel like the kitchen is like truly the heart of the home. I mean, it's where you spend so much of your time.
It is.
And you want it to not only feel functional, but you also want it to be really beautiful. So you've got to find this balance of the both. What do you find that sort of packs the biggest bang for your buck? Where should people be spending their money?
I would say in functional storage, so that it does function for you better. Are you a baker? Let's figure out where we're going to put all your cookie sheets. Are you somebody that likes a lot of spices? Where can we put this where it's not next to the stove? I would say those little things. And then I'm a stone girl. I love to just, take stone, run it up the back of the wall, fun backsplashes and all that too. So just a little bit of pop of just you. What is you in this kitchen?
How can somebody show their personality in their kitchen? Is it the tile? Is it, how does that manifest?
So I always say that the thing that if we all are going to the Oscars and are required to wear a black dress, what are the key pieces that people do or wear so that you don't look like everybody else?
Right.
And I say that it's the jewelry of the kitchen. So it's your backsplash, it's your hardware, it's your faucet, it's your lighting. Those are the pieces that people, if they want to sell their house in 5 years, those are the things that somebody else can come in. They didn't move into your kitchen. They moved into something where they can take out some of the things perhaps that you didn't like. A backsplash is simple. If you have a beautiful countertop, you can always just take the tile off. So,
what would you say are the 3 most popular countertops that people ask for? And is it purely based on aesthetic, or are certain countertops like more durable than others?
Yeah, and when you got to give your client the rundown of you want natural marble, well, guess what? It can stain. Do you have little kids? Do they have grape jellies?
I find it so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I have been into these places before, and I'm looking at like 200 different kinds of marble. And I'm like, how do you even begin to decide?
Yes. Well, what are we tying it into? So when I did my kitchen, I have black walls in my kitchen, so I do all the heavy stuff, but I picked my countertop and worked my kitchen around that because I loved my slab of marble so much.
You knew you wanted that.
I knew that that's exactly what I wanted. I knew that my husband's probably going to stain it, you know what I mean?
Right.
If I don't stay on top of sealing it. I knew all of that going into it. So I really do think that the driver is aesthetic. I do a lot of the Cambria, the beautiful golds, the gold veining and stuff like that. I just is being installed as we speak right now. So those are some of the elements, I think.
And how do you see your niche evolving over the next couple of years?
Because the darks are heavy, I'm gonna have to switch into something else, because I don't know if people are necessarily gonna want to stay with it, but the goths at heart are consistently like, you know what I mean? Like Kat Von D, she's not changing. You know that her next kitchen is either going to be pitch black or red or something like that. So, I do what you like. You know what I mean? But I do think that I'll have to adjust my 10-year plan for the moody, the heavy.
But I like the motto, do what you like.
Yes.
Because it's the space that you're going to be in.
You're spending $100,000, $200,000 on a kitchen. You better love it.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be in there. Otherwise,
a long time.
You're not going to be cooking, and you're going to be ordering food and taking it into the living room and like not being in your kitchen as much as possible.
Yes, I agree.
Well, your kitchen and baths are stunning. Thank you so much, Lauren, for stopping by today. It was such a treat to talk to you, and have fun walking the floor and getting all of this inspiration here.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Of course. Coming up, we've got Erica Bovard and Alina Capra from Cafe. They share how to make your kitchen truly yours, from customizable appliances to expert design tips with their new style studio. Stay tuned for more. We'll be back in just a few.